Over the years, there has been much debate as to whether or not schools should have uniforms. There are many pros and cons to both sides. However, after attending a private school for 8 years, I feel that school uniforms are necessary. Some pros to school uniforms are that children have a more professional appearance, learn discipline, reduces the amount of fighting and violence, there are less distractions, more school spirit, and children demonstrate better values. However, there are many opposing arguments as well. While a student's appearance may look more professional, they lose a sense of their identity. Individuality is an important piece in development. One of the main ways to show uniqueness is through one's appearance and clothing. However, one cannot fully express himself through a uniform. In some cases, uniforms may enforce discipline. However, could do the opposite and cause other students to become more rebellious. They could alter their uniform by making them shorter or longer, cutting the sleeves, adding embellishments, etc. Therefore, how is discipline really being enforced? Not only that, but I feel that there are other ways the school can enforce discipline. Perhaps there should be more focus on academics versus a student's attire. Lastly, discipline also stems from the parents and how they choose to raise their children. Uniforms may limit the amount of fighting amongst the students. Those that cannot afford name brand clothing may not be teased as often. However, uniforms can be very costly. Some uniforms are very expensive, and children still need clothing to wear after school and on the weekends. Having to pay for both uniforms and clothes can cost the parents even more money. Also, if students are teased for the way they dress, perhaps the school and parents should talk to the children about the issue and explain to them why it is unacceptable. Regular clothing may provide more distractions. Skirts or shorts may be too short. Shirts may be too low cut or have inappropriate graphics or sayings. But is it really necessary to go the other direction and get uniforms? Why not establish some guidelines for the students to follow? For example, shorts must be a certain length, and shirts must be school appropriate. I don't think it's necessary to limit graphic tees altogether, and to tell students that they can only wear the pants that they provide. Schools argue that uniforms provide better values. Perhaps their reasoning is that students spend less time on their appearance and worry more on academics and other priorities. I happen to disagree. I don't feel that what a student wears affects their studies. I know people that attend school in preppy clothing and have excellent grades. I also know other people that come to school every day in sweats, and their grades are just as well. Children need to be motivated and feeling the need to do well. Handing a student a uniform isn't necessarily going to encourage them to do better. They need family and faculty support and positive reinforcement in order to want to succeed. A student has to want to succeed. It doesn't matter on their clothing. I never had to wear a uniform, but my school did have some restrictions on clothing. Tank tops weren't allowed, and shorts or skirts had to be 3 inches above the knee. I don't necessarily feel that schools need to use those same guidelines. However, I feel that guidelines allow students to wear what they want and have their clothing be more school appropriate. I don't feel that it's necessary for the school to give out uniforms, and I don't necessarily feel that a student's academic success is better because of a uniform.